This is Geometry Dash, my favorite video game ever. But what if I turned it into a first-person game? Let's find out. Firstly, I needed to cubify my character. Thankfully, that's really easy to do since I just had to add a model into the workspace named starter character, a cube named humanoid named starter inside of the model, a cube named humanoid inside of the model. And just like that, I am a cube now. Actually, play that back real quick. Well, I don't recall Geometry Dash having this bounciness. So I disabled the gravity and made it myself, and it was still bouncing. Turns out I had to set the elasticity to 0. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I'm sure this custom gravity will help me in the future. That is called nice foreshadowing. Anyways, I still can't really do anything besides falling down over and over again. So I added some jumping and whoa! I'm really tempted to play that one song right now. I believe I can fly. But after editing the settings a little bit, I had a pretty nice jump. Except I could do this. To fix that, I added some green guys in the cube that go pew pew towards the ground. But the twist is that their pew pew has bad range, so they can only hit the ground if I'm standing right on it. And I can make it so I can only jump if at least one of them successfully pew-pewed the ground. But you see, Geometry Dash also has something called input buffering, which makes stuff like this easy even for a beginner. And to put this in my game, I had to completely rework the input script. Now, this is great and all, but in Geometry Dash the player usually moves forward, and in my game... So I added some movement by putting a third velocity in the player, but this time I set it to plane mode. For those wondering, plane mode does not refer to an airplane in this context, instead it refers to a 2D plane. Now let's add some more game mode. I decided to start with the UFO first because that's pretty much the cube, but you can also jump in the air. So I made this cool portal and gave it some nice colors. Unfortunately, I don't magically gain the powers of the UFO without scripting anything, never mind. Next up we have the ball. With this game mode, when you click you switch gravity. So I did the same thing in here but in 3D, and thanks to the custom gravity it was really easy. And lastly, we have the wave. This is the simplest game mode in Geometry Dash because all you do is go up when you click and go down when you don't. So I decided to keep it simple in this game too. So simple in fact that you don't even need to click, you literally just go forward. Now I want you to look at this footage and tell me what game mode I am. If you said cube, you would be wrong. I was the UFO. So to make it easier to know what game mode I am, I made this UI that straight up tells me. So now, can you guess what game mode I am? If you said anything other than cube, what is wrong with you? You might not know this, but the D in geometry... Wait, that doesn't make sense, my bad. The D in Dash stands for dying, because you die a lot in this game. So let's add it to our game. Let's start with the block. You can die to a block either by smashing into it at full speed or by hitting your head so hard that you fall into a coma and die. So I made a hitbox for the block and made it kill the player, except that's not what we want. We want to only kill the player when they crash into the block. So I decided to spherify our character because I'm lazy and I don't wanna rotate the character with the camera, and with a sphere you don't have to do that because it's a sphere and spheres are spherical. I also added a smaller sphere that will be responsible for dying. After that I made the top hitbox collide with the player, so that way the smaller sphere cannot collide with the hitboxes. And lastly, I did some custom collisions for the other game modes. The spike was way easier to add since it kills the player no matter what, so I didn't have to do the weird collision stuff. Same with the souls and the monster. Now onto the orb section. From here I wanted to recreate the jump pad, the jump orb and the speed portal. I started with the pad, which I recreated by adding yet another velocity and making it a lot stronger than the jump. For the orb, I added yet another velocity, this time a bit weaker than the jump. And for the speed portals, I just changed one variable. With all of this done, the game was pretty playable, so it's time to make some levels. Wait, I think I'm forgetting something. Oh, since I cannot be bothered to come up with an original idea, I decided to just steal, take inspiration from Beat Bounce's main menu. Firstly, I made a cube, a UFO and a wave model and made them move around. After that, I made some buttons that don't work but look pretty cool in my opinion. So to make them work, I made this settings tab, this levels tab, and this pose tab. Now let's complete the level. Oh, I cannot do that. So I made this very original looking diamond and made a level complete screen that appears when you touch it and gives you stars. But you see, in Geometry Dash you're forced to play the level the way the creator wants you to. But in my game you don't have to do that. So I added some green diamonds that you have to collect before collecting the last one. But you can still go on some side quests before collecting them, so I added a timer to each diamond that resets the character when it runs out. And now there was one last thing I had to do before making the levels, which is practice mode. Thankfully implementing it was pretty easy since I already had the diamonds and I just had to swap between them. Actually, this is more like the start pose switcher, but I'm boycotting practice. Shut your fucking mouth! Now it's finally time to start making the levels. Wait, what is happening to the camera? So yeah, basically I had to make my own camera because of this, which was pretty hard. But I got it done eventually, thanks to this guy. Guys, make sure to always credit the people you're stealing from. Wow, I can finally start making the levels.
Leave me alone!
Ah yes, the worst part of making any game. Mobile support and data stores. This was really tedious, so I'm not even gonna bore you with the details, but just know that this took like 5 hours. But now it's finally time for the levels. The first level is Stereo Madness 2, which introduces the cube and the jump pad. The second level is Golden Haze, which introduces the orbs and the UFO. And the last level is Club Step, which introduces the speed portal and the wave. If you wanna try these levels out for yourself, you can play the game by clicking the link in the description. I'll also make a level editor if this video gets like 5 billion likes.